Alright guys, how you doing? I'm going to go ahead and take my Mark III 2245 Ruger and I'm going to attempt to do the grip mod with it. So what you're looking at right now is the pistol already disassembled. Alright, here we are outside. Here's my tool, my trade right there that I'm going to do this with. You can see that as I am doing this, I went ahead and I wrapped it all up. Basically all the holes that are in there, I put tape over it. Not too fond of the blue tape. I didn't take everything off. I figured with the Dremel bit being the design that it is, I should be able to get in and around with no problem. My only concern is though with this blue tape. I'm not too hip on the blue tape. Back in the day I used to be in construction and we used to call this stuff 7-day tape because you could leave it taped up around your trim or whatever that you're painting for 7 days and supposedly wouldn't leave any glue or sticky behind it. I would recommend if you're going to do it, use the old-fashioned yellow tape or kind of that vanilla looking tape. It has a little bit more sticky to it and works a little bit better. But I'm going to start drilling now, or not drilling, but I'm going to start sanding on it right now and we'll give you some pics as I go. Alright, now you can see I've been doing some dremeling on there. You see my tools and my trade here again. Now with that Dremel, you can see the bit when we move into the light. You can see how it is. It actually works really good. I put no pressure on that bit at all when I was doing this. I put no pressure on it at all, and it took it down really, really quick. One of the things is down here, it basically goes from nothing to something. It wedges up like at an angle. So what I was doing is I was just using the edge here to go ahead and drive that. That's why you see that the grain is going the opposite way on there. But what I'm also going to do is you saw this, and I know that looks kind of hokey out here, you know, I've got such basic tools, but what I wanted to do was use this as my straight edge. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for the light underneath it in different areas to see if I'm level or not, and to see, I'd rather be just a tad below than a tad over, because don't forget I'm going to be using those bushings to pull it in. So I got to make sure that it's not too high. You can see different areas where it'll be too high. And what I'll do is I'll take a pencil, and like this right here where it's high right there in the middle, I'm going to take a pencil and I'll shade that area in so I know I need to hit that. And I'll just barely hit it because, like I was saying, that Dremel takes it off quick. So I just hit a little bit in the middle so that way I can go ahead and get that, you can see right there especially, get it nice and flat, and I'll do the other side. You can also see that it really wasn't very hard. I got almost a nick right there. Man, I hope it doesn't go through, but if it does, nah, I don't think so, because I can see on the tape still. I can see it on, it's not through the tape, it looks like. But I'm going to put the Hogue overmold grips on there, so yeah, hopefully. But needless to say, I'm sure once in my hand you'll never see it. Oh, and by the way, yeah, lots of this dust, lots of that dust. Man, I mean to tell you, it gets everywhere. So when you're doing it, make sure you wear eye protection. Alright, I finished marking it with a pencil, and you can see where I got my high marks, so that I know exactly where to sand. The rest of it is just perfect right where I want it. But those shiny areas where I put the pencil mark on, and that needs to be sanded down a little bit. Okay, you can see that I finished sanding it. I made sure it was flat. What I did was I took this, I use this for sheetrock, but what I used that for is my flat edge, so I could put it down and look at my light gaps, make sure that it was flat, and I drew my lines like you saw all over it, make sure the whole thing was flat. Then what I did is I took some 100 grit sandpaper, sand it down a little bit. I got kind of stupid. I took some 500 grit and then 1000 grit just to give it a better look. If you look at it, and I just cleaned it off, but one, it's nice and flat, and now it's nice and smooth too. So if I take the grips off in front of somebody, it doesn't look like, you know, it was done at home. It was done at home, but I just didn't want it to look like it was done at home. So I guess now the do or die side, this side right here with the controls on it. Get back in a minute with you. Okay, I got this side taped up. Maybe what you can see is what I did is I just wrapped the whole thing with tape all the way around. You can kind of see here where I just wrapped it. What I did then is I took my X-Acto knife and cut it out around it. It just made it so much easier with all those controls and everything. I just did that so that way I could tuck it in good and tight, so that way none of the holes were exposed. So I guess here goes the grinding. Okay, here you see the finished product. Yeah, if you look, I hit that pin right there, this side and that side, but I've got some special markers there. It paints with like enamel. It's specifically made to paint onto metal, to mark metal, so I just hit that with a little bit of black, give it a little bit of protection. But if you look at it, you can see it's you know, pretty decent. You can see on this side, yeah, I hit the edge. I was being careless, I was going too fast on this side versus this side. I took my time, thought I had it down. Did one side, thought I had it. So moral of the story, take your time. So now what I've got to do is I'm going to put my bushings on here, my grips, and once again, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, once again, guys, I'm back. You can see what I did is I took my grips right here and I put them on the gun. I positioned them by one, marking where the edges of the original panel went on both sides. You can see I just did a little cut mark, no big deal. So I knew where to position it side to side. I bumped it up to this pin. You see on the real 1911 grips how they got that little relief right there. But what I did is I bumped this portion right here up to this pin, so I knew exactly how tall it was. What that does is that just ever so slightly leaves a little bit of the edge exposed. I mean, we're talking like maybe a 1/16 of this bottom here exposed. I went ahead and I drilled then of course I had tape on there, so I went ahead and marked my holes with a pencil. I drilled them with a pilot hole, got my little bit there. Now I'm getting ready to drill it with the real size drill bit right here. I already measured it up. It's the same size as the bushing is, but yet the threads stick out above and beyond it, so it's just the threads will have grip into the frame. So here I go with the rest of it. Okay, now I've done that. I've drilled the bigger holes. You can see, hopefully I can get it. It's hard to see out here, it's really sunny, but anyways, you can see right through there. Now if you look on the inside, I know you probably can't see it that well like I can, but basically inside here, might be hard to see. I don't know if I can catch the sun on it. But right by the hammer and sear and all that, that bushing goes right in there, right next to it. Just missed it. Awesome. Luck has finally gone my way. Now what I'm going to attempt to do is take this bushing and thread it into here. We're going to see how well that works. So let me go ahead and thread that in and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, here's a picture of the bushings installed. You can see them installed this side and then on this side. Screwed them in, and now I'm going to put this on, and I'm also going to relieve this corner here for the slide lock. Okay guys, here's the gun. It's all done. As you can see, I've got it on there. Something else I also did, well, because I guess I'm used to it, is put a little bit of white fingernail polish on the front. Yeah, just taped around the sides and on the bottom, so that way you get a nice square. I also went ahead and you see other people do, like on their AR-15s, how they'll fill in the side, the writing on the side, like up here. I did the same thing because it's got a little relief in the back. I don't know if I can get a good picture of it. But they got a little relief cut in the back. So what I did is I put white fingernail polish, my wife's white fingernail polish. She's going to kill me if she finds out. But I put it in there, and then since it was kind of tight, once again I put some, that's just a reflection, that's not white on there. But since it's kind of tight, what I did is I went ahead and I just put tape around it, and then before it dried, I kind of scraped it off a little bit with my fingernail, because I didn't put a ton of it on there. Then let that dry, then did it again, so it filled up pretty good. You can see the grip on here. And man, it actually came out pretty good. You see how I told you, remember before I tried to line it up with the lines? You can see like right that little relief right there, how it lines up really, really close. Covers that line. So if I ever put regular grips on there, I'm good to go. Once again, lines up with the line. The only part that's even close, I don't know if you can see it or not, is right in the front. You can barely make out a little bit of a line. You see right here, that's dirty because my hands are dirty right now. If you look at my hands, they're dirty. Oh yeah, that's. But anyways, what I did is I went ahead and I just cut that corner off ever so slightly, and then I took the lighter and hit it with the lighter a little bit, and then just tapped it. You can see that it's not brown because it's burnt. It's brown because My hands are a little bit dirty from working on it. I also went ahead and I cut out the front. You can see, once again, I did the little trick to it where I hit it with a lighter. I used the gun as a reference, and I just used that to cut it off, so that way it all looks like it's supposed to fit there. It gets a nice smooth picture anyways. But you can see it's pretty flat. It goes along with the edges. I just hit it with the lighter a little bit and then push down on it, kind of round it off. Didn't want to hit it with any sandpaper or anything like that. Put the gun all back together. I got this gun for Christmas, and it's still December, so I haven't had it but about a week. And I did the sights to it, and now the little grip mod to it, because I knew I was getting it for Christmas. So I went ahead and did that myself to the grip mod. I love the grips. Oh man, it feels so much better. Yes, the weapon, even though it's on fire, it is safe. Look, it won't go to safe because there's nothing in the chamber. Loaded chamber indicator. Not sticking out, and I'm going to keep mine in there. I'm not going to take it out. I see no reason to take it out. And it is on fire, but the thing is, though, is that there's nothing in there. But when you're holding it up and you're aiming it, let me see if I can get this a little bit better. Well, you can see all the trash. See where I was working on it over here. Here, I use the couch. When you go up against there and you're trying to hold it on target, with a white outline, it makes it really nice. Now, I've been to the range with this gun once, and at 15 yards, it shoots just a tad high, which I'm going to keep because I'll shoot out to 20 yards. When I'm talking a tad high, I'm talking like an inch and a half high. So, and I'm a right-handed shooter. I'm holding this left-handed, but I'm just doing this so you can see the sights. But yeah, it came out really good. Love the grip. Oh man, I got big hands. I got like sausage fingers, so I have really big hands, and this was a small gun to begin with. But yeah, man, this feels so much better in my hand. When I grip it, it feels like a real gun, not a little toy gun like it used to. This thing is awesome now.